It's Seeingreen Radio, checking in right here on YouTube. It's your girl KK, and today I'm here with one of my dearest friends, Curtis.
What's good? What's good? Thanks for having me.
Of course, thank you for coming on. I don't know, I'm really excited for today's episode actually, because we're talking about some of my favorite stuff. So, as you can see from the title, we're talking about finding loves in your 20s, self growth, and detachment. Very, very important things in your life, especially finding love in your 20s. You know, you're in a relationship actually. So,
Yeah, I am. She's behind the camera. Y'all can't see her, but
no, so I actually just wanted to ask you, like, how do you kind of balance that? Like, so I don't want to like get too deep into your life, right? But do you think like finding yourself and love can be hard sometimes? Do you go through those struggles?
it honestly took some time for me to be able to like grow personally. Like you have to, start somewhere, and I was starting at a real bad place
Yeah.
for me. So eventually, once you come to like understand your partner, for sure, like that really helps. You get that connection, and it was difficult for me at first. Like it was pretty difficult, can't lie. But then I met her, feel me, and everything started to ease itself.
Yeah.
Um, and honestly speaking, I feel like if there is a will, there's a
Mhm.
way. So
Mhm.
it depends. Like
Yeah,
I
it
know,
really does depend.
oh my fault.
No, it's okay.
But yeah, I know like everybody's a little different. But like you got to give yourself some time to grow. Like, and a lot of people like are too hard on themselves,
Mhm.
and they'll take like little facets of what people say, like
Mm.
niggas ain't shit, and they're gonna
Yeah,
make that
like
whole thing
social
your
media
vibe.
expectations.
So like they make that their whole vibe, and like they're comfortable with that.
Mm.
And once you grow and you figure out that that's not the wave, like eventually you'll be alright.
No, that's so true. I think I'm learning that too. Like, not letting social media influence me. I definitely said this in my episode with Davon. Like, I struggle with that a little bit. Definitely not with my relationships, but it could be hard talking to my friends that do believe in social media relationships because then they're like trying to play me like, girl, like, what do you mean he doesn't do that for you? Da da da. And I'm like, well, like, I don't expect it, you know? So yeah, it's definitely hard. Especially with myself too, because you know I'm very heavy on like trying to find myself. So being a lover girl and trying to find myself can be hard because you don't know which one you want to like look for. And I think not really finding yourself and looking for love can push that so far back.
Well, speaking of things that you're not expecting,
Hmm.
what is something that you do expect out of your partner?
Definitely like being there for me a lot. I think that could be bad because it ends up becoming like a dependable thing, and you really can't depend on your partner too much because you want to also have your own life. But like I said, I think that also comes with me just not having that security with myself. You know, feeling like okay, well, if something were to happen between us, like if we needed a break, like I wouldn't feel bad about it. But like when stuff like that happens, I usually take it really hard because it's like, damn, like I don't think we need this break, or like I can't be away from you. So definitely things like that are hard. That's why I think I do need to find myself now before I get into another relationship because that could be really like detrimental. So
Yeah, like it's very important for you to like get that self love first,
mm-hmm.
because you'll tend to be dependent on that person
Yeah.
to get that validation, especially if you don't have that validation within.
Yes. Oh, I definitely think finding love in your 20s is also like finding love as a teenager because you don't know a lot in your 20s. You might know some things, but I think it definitely also mess up your perception on happiness and stuff because again, like you're really looking for those things and other people that you're trying to look within yourself, and I feel like that can go a long way because then when you get into an adult, you carry these toxic traits with yourself.
Now I could definitely understand that because when we're younger, like in our like later teen years,
Mhm.
even early 20s, like well, still in my early 20s,
Yeah.
but you get it. You just everybody's like having their fun, they're exploring, they're trying to find themselves,
Yeah.
find out what they like in a person, and like dip and dabble and shit like that, right? But once you get to this point, like in our lives,
Mm-hmm.
right, people are still doing that, and some people aren't. And now you have to weed out who is really like
Mm.
matured yet,
And like committed to
yeah,
love. When do you think is a good time to start dating?
it differs. It really does differ.
It
Like some
does.
people are ready from the get go. Some
Yeah.
people,
Mm-hmm.
like for instance, my brother, he's been in a relationship for 3 years now, and like he met her from a while ago, and like they just been easing it in,
Yeah.
but like they're fully locked in. But some people's like time frame are a little different. I do it
Mm-hmm.
like some people like in the social media context will call it like a whole phase and shit like that,
Okay, yeah, for sure. Mm-hmm.
right? And I'm not saying like it's a whole phase for X, Y, and Z person. Some people are just literally just exploring themselves, trying to find out what they like in a partner.
Yeah.
And I don't demean that at all. So I want people to go through their experiences
Mm-hmm.
and like find out who they are first, because you don't want to be locked down or locked into something.
To the wrong person, yeah. Waste your
That's not
time.
for you.
So, what do you think people get out of like the hose phase? Because the way I look at it all the time is like they just want to get away with being with a whole bunch of people. I don't really see how you could find yourself being with like a bunch of people.
Like I'm not validated the aspect of like hurting someone else, like because there's a difference. There's a line between like exploring yourself and
Mm-hmm.
like finding out who it is you like, and um, literally hurting others, like
Yeah,
breaking hearts and like disregarding people's feelings, because that feeling, the feelings are really important.
it is. Yeah.
So like you don't want to be known as someone who's detrimental in that aspect. Like you're a bad thought for everybody that you've experienced.
Mm,
Is kind of crazy.
yeah. No, actually, I never looked at it that way, but that's definitely true. Because if you really are out here just like doing whatever with people, I don't know. That's like,
No, that's crazy.
and that's definitely has something to do with like yourself. Cause like, why are you just like hurting people? Like, who hurt you?
Yeah.
Type shit. But yeah, so then that kind of does have a lot to do with self growth too. Do you think self growth is like, do you think someone goes through something and then they kind of change and then they learn after that, like, this is how life is going to go? Or you think self growth is like a continuous thing?
Sometimes it can be abrupt, like something just a life changing aspect happened, and then you have to turn over a whole page. And sometimes it's gradual. So like, for instance, you can slowly work towards like I'm not feeling like I want to lock in. Like
Mm-hmm.
I like pretty much to myself and my experience with my lovely girlfriend over there, right? I was like, I can't see myself hurting this person. You feel me?
Okay.
Like this person is for me, and I can't. Yeah, I can't see myself in
No,
a
I get it.
situation
I
like
get
that.
it. I think when you meet the person, a lot of the times you end up figuring that out about them and even yourself. And that's really good too that you can acknowledge that now early in your relationship because a lot of people don't realize that till after like the girl or the guy did so much for them and they're like, damn, like all they try to do is show me love or whatever the case may be. But that's so
But
sweet.
like when you find that person, like I really like I really believe in that if he wanted to, he will, or if she wanted
Yes.
to, she will. You feel
Mm-hmm.
me? So, like, I want, I want to be here. You feel me? I want to
Yeah.
put that effort forth, and especially because she reciprocates energy.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely,
Yeah, you know what? You brought up a good point. Dating in your 20s, a lot is definitely reciprocation too. Like, we're definitely at a point where we know a lot of what we're doing, right? So I feel like for anyone to feel like that person's not obligated because like they don't have to is bullshit to me. Like, no, they're doing it because they don't want to.
yeah.
So get your head out your ass. That's how I look at it. But what's one of like something important you learned as far as like self growth?
Um, it takes time. Like, you really have to be patient with yourself, and oftentimes this is just like sitting up, like, damn, like, why did I do this? The shit that happened in the past, it's the past. You really can't change that,
Mm-hmm.
and it's what made you you. So, um, there's a lot of things that I like wanted to change about myself, which in a sense was detrimental to my own growth. Because if you keep on thinking of your past, where you're going, you're not going there.
But I don't know. I guess I understand you and I don't, because you said like it was detrimental to yourself, but you were trying to change that.
Yeah, like, but you can't change the past. You can change who you are coming forward.
Okay.
I mean, so you can't keep looking back because that's not where you're going. You're going forward.
Oh, so you were trying to change like what you did before?
Yeah, like, damn, like,
Okay.
why did I do this? I kept
Uh,
on
so like
belittling,
regret,
yeah,
basically. Okay.
belittling myself. Like, why did I put myself through this situation?
Mm-hmm.
Because sometimes, like, karma's a bitch for me. It'll come back to bite you no matter how
Oh,
long.
for sure.
But
Always. Yeah, I guess I do that a lot too, actually. But I think now I'm actually getting better at like letting go of the past, because I feel like the past always happens, even though I hate to say like, things need to happen for a reason. Sometimes I wish they didn't happen for a
yeah,
reason, but that does have a lot to do with self-growth. Like,
mm-hmm.
I feel like one of the hardest things I learned for self-growth is like accepting everything, like past, future, present, because if you dwell on whatever it is that happens to you, like you're really going to lose your mind. And that's happened so much like now. And I feel like even with bringing it back to finding love in my 20s, like I feel like I dwell on so much like of my relationships too. It's hard for me to kind of like see the good in people sometimes, because I'm always expecting the worst.
Yeah.
So I don't really know if that has a lot to do with like me, or if I just need to move on,
Nah,
you know?
I understand that because, like, a lot of it is, like, you not only pay attention to your own past, but the past of
Mm-hmm.
others. Like, did this person do X, Y, and Z? How this person hurt me in the past? Or
Mm,
how was I hurt in the past by someone else? And oftentimes you'll bring that into your relationship. Like, for instance, for example, like, I'll just say, like, if someone was to be cheated on,
mm-hmm.
right, in the past, they're going to take that, like, distrust into their next relationship. Or they can discard it. I'll say, charge it to the game, right? And, move on to the next person, I guess, or the person who is for them. Because if you do take that prior regret or that prior distrust and you accumulate it over the next relationship and the next relationship, you just keep on bringing that baggage,
Mm.
it's really going to affect, like, say you find the right person.
Yeah. Okay, so you had mentioned that you were going through something and then you got into this great relationship. Like, sometimes how they say like you can heal and be in love. Like, when did you know like you were able to do that in that space?
Uh, this is going to sound, like, cheesy and corny and shit, but, like the first day, like the first, because I wanted her for the longest. I was trying to talk to her for like 2 years straight before we even started talking. But, like, um, in the aspect, we were in a friend group,
Mm-hmm.
and I really was trying. She could tell you I was trying hard, yeah, hard as fuck. But don't call me a simp. But yeah, I knew when we first started talking, like, for real, like, even when, like, it was just like the waters, we was just testing the waters.
Mm-hmm.
I could tell, like, this is the person for me, and I can't hurt this person.
Mm-hmm.
There's so much that she brings to the table, and there's so much that she does for me, especially now that I've like recently, especially now, right? But like, you really can't substitute that. You really can't. There's not a lot of people like that.
Yeah, no, there really isn't. Do you think like going into a relationship with mental health problems kind of affects the other person too?
Absolutely, absolutely. But that's something you can work through with that
Mm-hmm.
partner. Like, once again, if there's a will, there's a way.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if they want to be there for you, no matter what, you guys can work through that.
Yeah.
And I'm not, like, demeaning that aspect, because that's very important. Mental, like, health is very important
Very
when it
important,
comes to
yes.
the relationships and life in general, operating in your life. But there has to be a will for you to also work towards that too.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you guys both are working to the same goal, no matter what, you guys are unstoppable.
Yeah,
For sure.
pretty much, literally. So, like my experience dealing with someone who's had mental health issues and, going into a relationship with them, it kind of almost felt like I was fixing them.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like kind of affecting me in a way, because I have a bad habit of doing that, because I like to cater to people in ways that I would like to be catered. So, um, yeah, how do you think?
I feel like you can be fixed, right? But it's to a certain extent. Like if you want to, if the person wants to
Mm-hmm.
be that, they will. No matter what, I believe in that manifestation. If you like sit down, you are self-aware, you understand where you're going or where you want to head, and if somebody else is also working towards that goal with you, there's literally nothing stopping you. I know, like, mental health, once again, is a big issue when it comes to, like, stable relationships. And sometimes it's just, like, emotional well-being and stuff like that. Like, do you even feel the love within yourself? Because that is very important.
It is, yeah.
And if you do not feel that, then there's no way that you can feel that through someone else.
Mm, yeah. Cause sometimes I just be like, no, like this person's really fucked up. Like they're not taking into consideration. Like I'm taking your problems more serious than you're taking your own problems, you know. And it's just like again, not being considerate. Cause being the other person and trying to fix someone is a lot. Cause not only are you trying to fix their problems, but you're trying to fix your own, and it's a mess. And I honestly. I don't know, like, if that's like a trauma thing though, at the same time. But I do think, like, I don't want to say I look for that a lot in people trying to fix them, but also because, like, I just care too, you know what I mean? But it always ends up more than that. It always just feels like I'm the one putting in more effort than them. And I feel like that's when people, like, take advantage of me in a way because they know how down I am to, like, help them, especially with their mental health, especially when it's a male. Because y'all mental health is different. Like, it's extremely different because I feel like you guys, like, emotionally and how you guys express yourselves is completely different than a girl. Like, girls are so emotional. I feel like boys are so good at, like, avoiding their emotions or how far they want to express themselves.
But I oftentimes push like my or used to push my shit to the side if I'm dealing with something like, for instance, bereavement, like I'm going through like passings and stuff like that, because that happened a lot within like the last couple of years. um I still would just like push it to the side. I'll even tell you, like, my boy, who I feel like is my brother to
Mm-hmm.
this day, or to this day, he had passed, and the only thing that could break me, like, I was holding strong, and the only thing that could break me is my dad gave me a hug, and my dad don't really give hugs, you know. So like,
Really?
he gave me a hug, and I knew what it was. I knew what time it was. I broke down. Like, he was paying with you, and I released like a bunch of stuff, like everything in the past. I'm balling. It was like 15 seconds though, so don't get your minds out. Like, feel me? But after that, like, I tightened up like quick, because I feel like as a man, you don't have enough time. You don't have time to dwell on things. If I
Mm.
get into something right now, like something bad happens to me right now, or one of my loved ones, I have to get over it real fast.
But why is that though?
I feel like we're taught that. Like, I know it's wrong. I know it's not right,
Mm.
but I feel like we're taught that, and it's hard for me to express myself to other people. I mean, I have an outlet now, which is
Yeah.
over there, but like before, I couldn't. I couldn't even, like, I wouldn't even want to, and it it's not healthy. It's really not.
Yeah, I was just gonna ask, like, how do you think that's made you as like a person? Like, do you think it's made you stronger or like able to control your feelings?
Um, I feel like I'm able to control my feelings in certain aspects. Like, say it's, say for example, I get into an argument, I'm over it like that. It's real fast. Like, after the argument, it's cool. Next day, it's really nothing. Like, I don't even be thinking about it for real. But like certain other stuff,
Mm-hmm.
I hold on to that. Like, it's just like, I was playing basketball. Like, it feels crazy, but I was I was playing basketball, and me and my boy got into it. We not cool no more.
Really? Over
It was over
basketball?
this
It got
little shit.
physical.
We got super physical, but
What?
it's just because we had to release that, and I understand that, and he understands that. But like, we like, after what we did, we can't be cool. Feel me? So
Damn. Nah, that's different. And you know, actually, I hate shit like that. Like, why did this have to be? I don't want to say it happened on purpose for us to not be friends, but the break of it, you know, because it's so unexpected. Like, I've been through some weird ass, like, friendship endings, and it's like, bro.
But sometimes it's dual displacement. Like both of us had a lot that we held in from our
Like
lives.
with between each other,
Not
or
in
just in
general.
general.
Like in general. Like we're not cool, but like we could talk. We could have a conversation now, you know? But like at the time, we both are holding in shit from our lives. Like I'm going through X, Y, and Z, people passing. He's going X, Y, and Z with his family. And instead of just talking to each other, like we waited till it got to a heated like moment, and we just let everything out, you know? So yeah.
Damn, that's unfortunate.
All right, so I just wanted to know, like, from your point of view and your relationships currently standing, how are you navigating that? Are you even searching right now? Are you trying to focus inward? Like,
Okay, so I have a bad thing of like saying I don't want to. Okay, I'll meet somebody, right? And then I'll be like, yeah, like I don't want a relationship right now. And then we end up talking. And I don't know what the fuck that is. Like I try to avoid it because then I find myself like struggling to like do for myself. And then I find that dependency where I'm always spending time with them, I'm always talking to them. And then it kind of turns into a situationship. And I hate situationships because I don't like how it's so easy to be like, yeah, we fuck with each other, but we're still single. You know what I mean? And especially now that I'm 20 and, you know, after going through all the stuff I went through, like, it doesn't feel good because I was in a serious relationship. So going from that to now I'm like single, dealing with situationships, is like, I don't want to deal with that as a girl, you know? Like, I want to get into another relationship. But yeah, I'm not really forcing it either to get into one because I still feel like I'm not ready yet, personally.
do you feel like you're only telling yourself you're not ready because you don't have that, or you haven't had that experience that has allowed that mental growth for you to be like, niggas aren't that bad?
Okay. No, I get what you mean completely, but no, I really don't think I'm ready because I still find myself having like trauma bonds with certain people, or I'll see like repeated behaviors from the past. Like you said, like if I got cheated on, then I'm going to this relationship like not trusting them. I'm having those problems way too frequently, and it just means I'm not ready. And I guess slightly too, I don't want to say like I'm insecure. Okay, let me ask you this. What do you think insecure is
All right.
in a relationship?
In a relationship, I feel like insecurity in your relationship is not having the withstanding in your own, knowing that your partner is your partner, or knowing that your
Okay.
partner isn't going to do X, Y, and Z.
Okay.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I had some trouble. I had some trouble with some insecurity in the beginning, but you really have to learn that this person is for you, and of course that takes time, and you need to have patience once again
Yeah.
with your partner and with the relationship, because it's not gonna happen day one that you have that reassurance.
Of course.
Even if it's like reassurance, like them saying that I love you or showing up for you, if you have that prior baggage, you're gonna bring it in.
So,
Oh, go ahead.
like you said, having that, like, knowing they're yours. One of my biggest problems, and let me know this is like with you too, I hate friendliness through social media, especially with the fucking liking Instagram stories. I think that's too intimate for me.
All right, the Instagram story is a stretch, but like a post is fine. Like,
Oh, of course, you could like her picture, you know what I mean? But like, you're specifically liking her story. I think that's like,
that's letting it be known, Kim.
that's me, like, no way. Because now, especially, people think that when someone likes their stories because they're shooting their shot. So if I'm looking at it this way, or she's looking at it that way, why wouldn't she think that you're trying to shoot like your shot? You know what I mean? So I definitely go through things like that. And I'm not afraid to admit it because I feel like there's boundaries in certain things, you know? And I also do feel like, too, like, if your partner doesn't like something and it's really bothering them, like, why wouldn't you go as far as, like, just fixing that little thing? Even though those aren't really your intentions, that's fine. But I'm going to keep talking about it until you stop. Like, that's just me. But so do you think that's a stretch? Me thinking that.
It's not a stretch because that's your boundary. And it's okay to have boundaries. You set the boundaries in the beginning of your relationship, and some of the stuff is self-explanatory. Like, don't don't fuck with that nigga.
Yeah.
Or you don't have to be that close. You don't have to be respectful. And the most important thing is respect and understanding, right? Because if you understand each other, because you're gonna have some fights, that's for sure.
Of course.
You're gonna have arguments, and y'all gonna fix that shit. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And you guys are gonna learn. That's the most pivotal part is learning your partner. So you're gonna learn their behaviors. You're gonna learn what they like, what they don't like, especially.
Yeah,
You can keep that down.
especially. Yeah.
What they don't like, and make sure you note that because it's gonna come in handy, especially if you're looking forward to spending some time and having a long-standing relationship. You're gonna have to learn that.
Yes. And that's definitely one of my problems too. Like, I don't say I like reassurance, but I don't like when people make me feel like I'm crazy for feeling the way I do.
I mean, I hate when people try to trauma scale, like your trauma is better or greater or worse than my trauma.
Yes.
Because everyone takes that into account. Everyone has their own separate emotions and how they live with that trauma or live with that distrust is completely different. We're all different people.
No, you know what I noticed in males too? At least the ones I've experienced, I feel like they definitely do compare like who went through shit worse. And then when it comes to playing to arguments, it's like, it's my feelings or nothing else. Or it's like, oh, I'm going through this right now. I can't worry about that. What the? That blows my mind all the way because I don't know how to explain it. Like, I hate that shit. Like, you can do, like, balance what we're going through and what you're going through personally, you know? Like, and, like, it's not like we don't even be talking about it anyways. So, what do you mean? Like, I can't worry about this right now. And I just feel like you don't give a fuck. Just simple as that.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely understand that.
When it comes to like arguments, I never try to be like, oh, like I'm going through stuff right now. Like we can't really talk about this. Cause I feel like it's not really leaving room for my partner to feel comfortable to like talk to me about anything because I'm going through something. That's basically me like asking for space then. You know, and I don't really like that.
But you want to provide that safe space for your
Yeah.
partner, especially if they can't find it somewhere else. And you would hate for you to be their last resort and you hit them with, I got something else more important.
Yeah.
And like a lot of people like to do or add the I. Like if you're going through something and you're telling me your story, I don't necessarily have to mention my life story with that. You know, like say you're telling me you got cheated on. Oh, I got cheated on too. That completely devalues your feelings on that because I'm trying to relate and make it seem as though your feelings aren't that deep.
Okay. You know what? And that's kind of my problem too sometimes. I'm a very light problem solver. So something I've learned working with kids is like you got to listen first. Like the first response isn't always to like solve the situation. Sometimes they just want someone to listen. So I think in a relationship, I just get scared because I don't want to repeat these habits that put them in the situation they're in. So I feel like that's why I try to like listen and then like understand what they're saying and then physically like not do it or help them feel like I'm not doing that or for them to even like make that who they are, you know?
Like, for instance, I mentioned this earlier, but say you get cheated on, you could go, niggas don't eat for 3 days, right? Me, like, if it was in, like, aspect, uh, like, you could charge it to the game. Like, as a man, I feel like you have to charge it to the game. You just, like, get over it. Or a lot of people will say they get over it and, like, get over it on the surface, and they'll wear a guise, they'll wear their mask, and, like, portray themselves as though everything's all right. But deep down, it's really not. And that's when you get the niggas that bring it into the next relationship. And that's when you get the niggas that can't function correctly in a relationship, right? Like, for example, like, in my situation, I didn't know, like, not to say it like this, but it's the first time that I've been in love for real, right? So I didn't know how to grasp that in the beginning.
Okay.
And I was very insecure with that aspect because other bitches, I didn't really care. Other women, I didn't care, for real. I didn't really do nothing. I just call it a day. And it showed, and put it drove a wedge in the beginning of the relationship that we had to go over, right? And eventually that road has, you know, it's been better. Like, it's been way better. But like, even in the beginning of the relationship, I was taking in old hurt that I told myself I grew over. I show everybody I don't give a fuck, for real. And, you know, but thank God it worked out, because we golden now. But at the same time, some people really don't want to be saved. You got to understand that too.
Damn. So when do you, okay, so give me this advice then. How as a girl do I notice that?
There's effort. You'll see the energy. You'll see the reciprocation. Like I said, you can feel energy.
Yeah.
Like in the beginning of the relationship, some people have a good ass time, or are really good at portraying that they want something, and they really don't.
Oh my God.
But
That's terrifying.
eventually, you're going to feel that energy. The only problem is no one wants to spill that amount of time and that amount of like resources and energy and physical, emotional, all to find someone who doesn't really want to be saved.
Right. Honestly, I hate the word bare minimum. I hate that word so much, because it's like, what is the bare minimum?
You set the bare minimum, honestly. It's your expectations that set the bare minimum. To somebody, just, you know, holding open the door or covering the check or two is good. And like, some girls will eat that up, right? But to you, you might need flowers on your doorstep and the niggas singing outside with R&B in the boombox, you know?
Yeah.
But once again, you set those expectations. So you set that bare minimum. What do you feel like you deserve? And oftentimes, that bare minimum that you set for yourself isn't high enough.
Because I feel like situationships itself is bare minimum. Like,
For real.
so that's why I say, like, I hate it. But then sometimes I think coming into this love shit too, I get my feelings mixed up with bare minimum, because what I like now day to day in my relationships, it doesn't get glorified on social media. So then I start feeling like, damn, like, do I like bummed or something because I don't like that? Like, it's hard for me sometimes looking into it.
Well, you might not need that as a source of validation. Like, some girls might need the flowers, you know, every other day. Or some girl might need the I love you every other second. So I try my best to provide all validation I possibly can, anything that I can muster, because as a man, you don't know what the bare minimum is for somebody. So you just got to try to give them the world, you know?
Right. Do you expect to get told that?
Hell no.
Or like,
I don't even go into a relationship with that expectation that I'm going to hear. I mean, I don't even go into this relationship with that expectation that I'm going to hear, oh, I need this done, I need that done, because it shouldn't be that. It shouldn't have to be like that lined out.
right.
Like, the expectations, I don't have to teach you how to be a girlfriend. You don't have to teach me how to be a boyfriend.
Right.
But you do have to be comfortable with the fact that I'm learning how to be your boyfriend, you know? And like, she's learning how to be my girlfriend, because once again, everybody has different expectations in their relationship. Like, a girl might need a Birkin bag. One girl might need McDonald's, you feel me? And there's nothing wrong with the McDonald's girl.
Of course, definitely not.
That's just, she's so validated within herself that she doesn't even need that minimum or need the
See what I mean?
you know?
I fucking hate that shit. Like, damn. But
Like, so, to somebody, to two different people, one's minimum could be somebody's maximum. Oh, you're really showing out right now, right? Or, oh, like, you ain't shit. Like, you don't even really want to be here. And that's another thing. Like, oftentimes a lot of women will put that aspect onto people. Like, you don't want to be here. You don't really love me, or you don't enjoy your time here, or something like that. And the aspect of it is, he could just be trying to figure out, like, oh, she's okay with this. She's okay with the McDonald's, you know, or she's okay with X, Y, and Z.
okay, so then at that point, do you feel like the girl needs to say something?
Yeah, I mean, to a certain extent, you don't have to outline everything, you know? But like, if something is bothering you, or somebody's not showing up in the exact way that you need them to,
Yeah.
then you outline that. Like, you let them know. because that communication is very important too. And like, if you can't communicate that, like your own needs, how would they know?
Yeah.
But in the beginning of the relationship, it's trial and error anyway. That's where you have to like give it time before y'all just jump straight ahead. Don't have a situationship. Don't have a situationship. But like, eventually, once you guys come to terms, like, oh, this is what we want to do. Yeah, don't have this. Like, this is what we want to do. Then you'll be able to allow them in or allow them that explanation. Really don't got to be an explanation. Once you guys figure it out, you guys are going to find out that you guys love each other or you guys want to be together. It doesn't even have to be love. That you guys like each other enough that you want to be around each other for extended periods of time, right? You're going to figure out that you and them, y'all can come together and understand each other. Y'all can talk it out. Y'all can y'all can go through it.
Yeah.
Right? Because a lot of the stuff, like, you'll bond over, like, stories, like trauma bonding. You guys are having the same issues. You guys both have daddy issues. Oh, wow. We're gonna talk that through, right? We were talking the whole time about our fathers. We done sat in the car, smoked it out, right? And now you're going to gravitate towards them. You done built that dependency because, like, they share that feeling with you. They can understand you. And that doesn't mean that they are saved. That doesn't mean that they want this as a relationship. They were just letting you know. They was just talking to you for real.
Yeah.
that was a good ass conversation. But even still, once you guys find that common ground, once you guys weed out, like, oh, the issues, because what you should outline is your expectations in a relationship, like, especially expectations in a situationship. That's high key. That's high up there, right? So, say you guys are talking in the beginning, right? How do you feel about this? When you guys are just talking, do you owe that person loyalty?
Bro, and that's why I hate situationships, because like, how far do we go to doing certain things? And then even classifying it as a situationship, like, we could go as far as saying, yeah, we fuck with each other, we do this with each other, we can't do this with other people. So are we just basically
In a
boyfriend?
relationship, yeah.
Yeah, like, what the fuck? Yo, I hate situationships. Like, it's honestly, going through it is an uncomfortable thing, because there's so many, like, I feel like there's more downs than there is ups. But I'm not saying that's for everybody, but at least from like what I've been through, because I feel like it's not really being serious that's messing everything up.
But how do you differentiate that situationship or a talking stage that's just long as fuck? Because some people really need that time to just talk it out, feel me, and understand each other. And then other people, they know it's about that time, and they still are just, they still are comfortable with the status quo. They comfortable with the fact that we're together in that aspect. We're together in any aspect. But I don't see this going further, for real, Like, when should that question be popped? Like, oh, we need to be together. Will you be my girlfriend or something like that, Like, because a lot of it should be self-explanatory. Like, if we're doing this, that, and the third, then I feel like that loyalty is already owed.
Yeah.
Right? And at that same point, everybody should be cut off, like.
Exactly.
Like,
basically, you were saying, when do you classify like it's just a situationship? And then when you're talking, honestly, I can't even answer that, because I've been trying to ask myself the same thing. Like, honestly, you brought up a good point too. Like, maybe this person just really wants to talk it out, but then it does get to a point like, damn, like, okay, how long do you think a talking stage should be?
It depends on the people. It really does. Like, because some people really aren't ready for a relationship, but that doesn't mean that they don't want to be with you.
Right.
And if they allow themselves, or they give you that affirmation, they let you know, like, oh, you're the one for me, for real. You really could talk for some time.
Yeah.
Honestly. I could end up talking for like 2 years, 3 years.
Nah, that's ridiculous. Out of here. Well, you gotta go. But to me, honestly, I've always said a talking stage is 3 months. I feel like that's perfect. Yes, that's perfect, because
we talked for 2 years.
But
I
the
know it's
difference between you and your girlfriend is like you guys were friends.
yeah, that's
So you know what I
kind of
mean?
talking.
Really?
No, I don't
Oh,
fuck with you.
okay. Because I was about to say, damn. But
I
yeah.
did want her for some time though. That's for sure.
You know what's actually crazy though? But I hear like when someone wants you for a long time, they usually end up like treating you bad as fuck.
I treat you bad. You love me, right? Nod yes. No? Oh, that's crazy.
She said yes, guys. But I always hear that. So, but basically to bring it back, I don't really know because it really is based on the person. But after a while, you are kind of playing like, no, ain't no way we've been talking for 5, 6 months. What are we so talking for? Like, but then again, I don't want to say that making it official also changes things, anyways, because we're still kind of doing the same thing. But yeah, I would hate to say that actually making it official, then you start changing and you're becoming a whole new person.
Yeah, I don't feel like anything really changed.
Yeah,
Like we was already doing what we was doing.
exactly.
Before, so it's really, but the title changes, and that holds a lot of weight,
It does.
especially to some people, because some people you won't even get posted if like y'all not boyfriend and girlfriend for real. Like, you feel me? Like that's a different.
Oh, you know what? Let's talk about that real quick. So, do you think that people don't post their partner because they're really trying to be private and not like show the fact that this is who I'm with, or they're really just like not trying to post you because
Listen, to each their own. I'm posting my girl, even if
okay.
she don't like it. You feel me? I'm posting it. You feel me? Because I not to say show off like my girlfriend, but
It's
like,
just your love language.
yeah, I like to. I want everybody to see damn near how happy I am. Right? Like I'm enjoying my time here. Feel me?
Yeah.
So I'll post her, but like some people really do like that privacy because certain aspects of their life, like they need it, or some people in their life or someone in their life doesn't want that happiness for them, so they don't want to show it. You know, like yeah, like it could be parents, it could be like family, like on their social media and stuff like that. Oh, for instance, my cousin, if I post something, my cousin shows my other cousin shows my aunt, right? And now, like, my aunt's gonna show my mom. Feel me?
Damn.
So, like, when I had my fencer was jumping, right? And I'm over here doing flips off the house and shit like that, just wilding out, like, my mom would come back and show me that. So, especially want that privacy and that in your livelihood aspect, right? I can understand not wanting to post your person.
Yeah. To a certain extent.
But yeah. Also, revolving back to the detachment part. There's detachment. There's a reattachment. Some people really fall into the category of reattachment, and that be poison for them.
What's actually reattachment?
Like you let someone go, or you feel as though you've let someone go, and y'all rekindle, and they're still the same person as last time. You know, and you fall in that trap, and they'll treat it like a trap because they'll teach you or they'll tell you or preach X, Y, and Z. Oh, I'm better. I'm changed. I'm doing this now. You feel me? But real life, they not.
Damn.
So you gotta be true to yourself. Do I want to go through this again, or, you know, yeah.
Nah. I actually never heard of that before. I guess I would just say that's being like on and off, or not just wanting to experience other people because it's like Krishan and Blueface. Do you think that's reattachment?
I don't think they ever let go for real. I feel like they just doing that. Half of the shit they do is for the cameras. Can't lie. To me,
Oh,
I feel like
it
they put on a
definitely
play.
is. Especially that baby. It definitely is.
Krishan Jr. is so great. I'm gonna keep it a band with you.
No, but she definitely uses that baby to get Blueface attention and like to get him into her circle. Cause if you really love that baby, bro, like, come on now.
Yeah, if you really loved that child, get up out of there. Like you
Yeah,
gotta go.
but yeah. So reattachment. That sounds. I don't know if that's worse than detachment or even attachment. Like, oh my god.
See, I feel like attachment is cool to a certain aspect as long as it's not. Everything is good with moderation. So like attaching to a person in a healthy way is cool.
Yeah.
You're fine with that. Detaching from a person in a healthy way is really cool. Fuck with that heavy. You really don't need to talk to a lot of the people you talk to right now anymore. Down the line, you can grow apart. That's completely fine. Be comfortable with that.
Yeah.
You know, like you can Like something could happen. Y'all could go through it together. Like some shit could just drive a wedge between y'all. That's completely fine. You really don't need to be their friend for real all the time, you know?
Yup.
And that reattachment within moderation, if somebody really does change, right? And you do have that love for them, you can go back. That's cool. And like as long as you're comfortable with that, as long as you made sure that your expectations in a relationship include that. You know, like say once again, for instance, you got cheated on and you come to find out that they're really a changed person and they're putting the effort in to get you back. If you can get over that hurt, then I don't see a problem with you guys reattaching.
Yeah.
Coming together. But if you can't, once again, it has to be healthy. So if you hold that distrust in them, especially because they hurt you, and that's 100% fine that you hold that distrust, not negating the fact that they did that, you know? But if you're able to overcome that, by all means, go crazy.
Yo, actually, now that you're like kind of explaining it more, like I had a friend, right? And we fell apart or whatever, and then we became friends again. And now I'm realizing like weird shit about him. Like, and I'm not saying that like he's moving like weird as hell, but now I'm peeping why we stopped being friends in the first place and why like I feel like we might not even continue this relationship because it's really like just weird slick stuff that he used to do before, and I just thought it was like funny, kiki and stuff, and now it's like, why the fuck would you say that?
And you'll really come to realize a lot of that stuff once you
Yeah.
cut that off. But y'all got back together like as friends, and like I feel like it's about that time. Like you should start gravitating like towards the like outskirts, like getting out of there. Like slowly spacing yourself away, especially if it's not healthy towards you.
Yeah, for sure. Curtis, again, thank you for coming on my show. This was a wonderful conversation.
Thanks for having me.
Of course, of course. Everyone's definitely going to tap into this. You know, don't have a situationship.
Please don't.
Have a situationship.
Find y'all love, dog.
But be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. This is Seeingreen Radio, and I'll be seeing you guys next week. Bye.